The last thing I want to touch on here, and then we're going to move on and talk about other things, is a former FBI agent was on All In with Chris Hayes on MSNBC last night, and he was asked about the logistics of the investigation, and he actually said, you know what, at the discretion of the investigators, when we have a suspect, and I believe that we will at some point, the suspect might not be Mirandized because we may have an investigation, an intelligence collecting situation that we could use our discretion and not Mirandize the subject. Now, I believe that this is concerning on a number of levels, but first let me play for you what the former FBI agent said. Then I'll give you my thoughts. And I think this is really important, Louis.
Trolls right now.
The FBI is in charge of terrorism. Oh, so it will be an FBI-led investigation.
Which means the United States Constitution and the due process it affords and all of the dotting I's and crossing T's that goes along with them. That goes along with it.
However, that is not to say that intelligence collection isn't a big part of this. And the trick is to find that delicate balance. So, for example, if there is information to be collected by intelligence means, whether it's a sensitive source, domestic, overseas, we're going to pursue that, every angle of that. If it means that somebody's in custody and the decision is made that we want to interview this person without reading Miranda rights, because
You're
right
saying
now,
in foreign custody.
Well, even in U.S. custody, I think there are situations now where a lot of people would say, look, you don't need to read a Miranda rights right away.
Okay, so let's stop right there. I think that this is a big deal. I think that we already have a situation where, for good reason, there are concerns over the U.S. providing due process to both citizens and non-citizens who are in the U.S. and taking people outside of the country to circumvent due process. It's very easy to Mirandize when things are calm and someone's shoplifted. But this is when I think really the lead needs to be taken. The Supreme Court ruled in 1984 that mandatory Miranda can be waived if law enforcement officials are asking questions that deal with an imminent threat. This is like the public safety exception. I think that we don't know what will happen, right? They may catch someone right before doing some other kind of bombing. I think that we're getting into dangerous ground. I think that I understand the feeling, because this was so close to us, to say, screw him, no Miranda, let's torture the guy, and all of these things that often people fall into when you're in a heightened emotional state. And I understand that because we're there, right? But even if you don't have moral problems with doing that, you're potentially giving a basis for appeal. And you need to be absolutely sure that you're not going to have a situation where you get the person or persons responsible, and because you're acting in a way that is not consistent with due process and the law, you don't check all the right boxes. You don't Mirandize or give due process. This is your perpetrator, and now you've given an out. You've given a basis for appeal on which the conviction down the road, if there is a suspect and a case and a conviction, could be overturned. This is, we have to guard against a lot of these events even occurring in the first place. But this is a nation of law, and I think it's dangerous to discard those protections.
Well, look, those protections are thrown out every day when the FBI and the CIA are dealing with people who we don't know about, who are involved in terrorist plots in this country and other countries. We've got extraordinary rendition. We've got crazy things happening at Guantanamo and other government holding sites. And the only reason that the suspect in this case would get any legal protection is because everyone knows about this attack. Everyone knows that the government is in pursuit of him, and the government now is stuck telling the public and the media about this person. When
it would be hard because of the prominence of this to go around the law, because of what people would say, whatever happened with that case.
Right.
I understand what you're saying.
But there are,
it happens. I'm not denying it.
Yeah,
it
hundreds
happens.
of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to bear that in mind. On today's bonus show, we will have more personal reaction to the Boston Marathon bombing, but also I'll be interviewed about this, and we'll actually have the behind the scenes of the interview on the bonus show, davidpakman.com/membership to get that bonus show and support this program. We will take a break. We'll come back. I have a lot of other things to talk to. I'm glad you're with us today. davidpakman.com/membership to sign up today. Back in a couple minutes.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.